I don't use prompts. I don't practice my speeches or anything of that nature. I have come from a different school where we use chalkboard. Um, Basically, a lot of what you've heard here this morning is very true. Business is an evolving thing, and it changes with the economies of time. And my experience has been quite different from our speakers here. My work is involved in big infrastructure projects that are financed by the international institutions, the European Union, the IDB, and governments, etc. In addition to that, we do a lot of work for the oil and gas industry. Consequently, we are spread throughout the Caribbean, and we're working just about everywhere. Everybody's hunting for oil and gas, and one of the services that we provide is at a very early stage of development. We start with the foundations. We do the geotechnical analysis out in the sea, pulling up samples from 200 or 300 feet down in the mud, and then deciding what can be built there, when and if and how, and the cost. So we get involved in projects very, very early. The port project in Barbados is a true project. We started our geotechnical work there more than 7 years ago, and people before us did the same thing. So we get a pretty soon heads up as to what is happening in our territories. Because of what we do and how long we've been doing it and how well we've done it, and I say how well because we have, to date, in our 20-odd years of history, we have completed over 300 projects in 120 countries. We've had 0% recall and just a lot of comeback invitations. So we've done pretty well, and I'm proud of that. Having said that, your job is never finished. You've got to continue pressing on, pressing on. There's going to be adversity from one step to the next. People will try to take away whatever you have. The challenge that I see coming for business, and what I would say your neck of the woods, because it's more commercial and lower profile activities. Ours is high profile. We get a lot of international support. We get a lot of government support. After all, they're the clients. They open doors, because when doors close, it costs them money. So when we're there on a daily basis. How long you want it to take, sir? Your pocket full, we could stay forever, because you gotta pay. So it's a different driver when we go to these kind of countries. And so we work long days, 24-hour days mostly in the oil industry, which means a lot of people on rotation and stuff like that. Logistics is very, very big, but we don't encounter the everyday problems that you might encounter, such as work permits and setting up businesses and stuff like that, because everything is fast-tracked. Every government wants their job done now, because it hinges on a election or a delivery promise, or this starts the event for another item that is waiting behind. So the costs build and escalate if it is not done on time. So we have a lot of incentive to get our work done. And on that basis, we've done a lot of work in Barbados. Our work in Barbados is everything from pipelines, outfalls for the rum distillery, to the sewage department, to the hotels, to the port facilities. Soon to come is going to be the gas pipeline from Trinidad. Work on that has started since '04. You haven't seen it yet, because it's all on the ground. But all of that is happening. There's a lot of work in train. And they call me the eternal optimist, and I think that's what gives me energy to go to work in the midst of all the negatives that we hear and read about. There really is a lot of opportunity out there, but you have to go get it. Doing business is easy. Getting it is the hard part. And it's not a kind of work that you can send a child to do. They want to talk to responsible people. They want to talk to people who can make decisions. Don't waste my time. We come in here to conduct business. I'm a very busy man. I've traveled from New York or England or Bahrain or whatever it is. Let's get on to the tax. And so it's important that you present your best foot at all times. Always go forward with your best foot. Your opportunity to sell is maybe only once to that individual. So you can't go and put your foot on and wait and come back and later on a taxi, have flat tire, and you can't do that. This morning, for example, I didn't know I was talking at 9:30 or whatever, but I'm here at 7 o'clock because I don't do traffic. And to me, I would be very upset if I had to sit down and wait in traffic for an hour and a half and be late for an appointment. So I just realized that, if I'm going to be somewhere at 7 o'clock, get up at 3 and get after it. Go home early and sleep at night. But that is how I look at it, because to me, if you're not punctual for your events, regardless of the value of the event, that sets the tone for who you are. And that is very important because you cannot have a minister waiting or a bank president at the IDB in Washington waiting for you. You might think you're important because you're the big cheese on your block. But in the rest of the world, you're nothing. So you have to learn to just be humble. Yes, sir, 3 bags full. And toe the line. After all, you are there for a mission. Your mission. Nobody else's mission, you're there for your mission. So to me, it's how you look at work. It's how you perceive yourself. It's how you deliver, how you present is always more important than what it is you're selling. Another thing about that is very important too is that regardless of what your trade or your sell is, the only way you're going to get a market is for it to be better than or it's unavailable in that market. If you're looking to join the 500 others, you're going to have a lot of challenges because people live in there, they know it, and their friends will support them. They're not going to support you as a newcomer. So how do you get market? You have to bring something that is not there, that is needed, and you have to bring something that is better than what they have. And another thing you have to look at too is standards. Standards are forever on the rise. The clients that we work for, the BPs, the US Navies, the governments, they don't joke with standards. they test the pencil you're using, and they're going to hold you to that principle. So that in itself, if you get to work for those kind of people, that opens markets for you. The amount of referrals that will come out of that. We do a lot of work for the US Navy. I don't think there's an island in the Caribbean that we have not done work for them for, including Haiti. 3, 4, 5 times in Trinidad. They go to the people that they can trust, that have confidence, that know their systems, can comply with all the paperwork, the regulations, the standards, etc. Very important. Again, I'm going to be talking a little bit above to what some of you might be here for. You might be looking at a lot of groundwork opportunities or ground floor opportunities. It's a long time since I've been there, so I've forgotten a lot of that. But basically, I see opportunity everywhere because things have to continue moving. Even in a downturn economy, things are growing. It's just that you may not see it. It may be underground because it takes a lot of time. Like I said, the pipeline to Barbados, we've been involved in that project since 2004. You haven't seen anything yet. And you probably won't till 2020. That's a long time. That's 15, 16 years of gestation. Most big infrastructure projects have at least 6 years in gestation. This port expansion in Barbados, probably 15 years of gestation. But it takes a long time for these governments, particularly in the Caribbean islands, to get the money they need. They got to somehow convince somebody that they need this money for their country. And so if it's an infrastructure project that is important, they will usually get it. But it's a long time from application to completion. So Barbados is no different than the rest of the other islands. I've learned one thing, is that when you go there to work, don't leave a mess behind. Because it doesn't only reflect on your country, it kills your business. Because that moves faster than light. So that is one thing you really need to take to heart all the time. Put your best foot forward and deliver, deliver, deliver. Also, it's important to bring the local people into your organization. Give work to local people. Our motto of the company is that we always leave our host country better than we found it. If we left a skill behind, it's not going to be garbage, but it'll be something, either something that they could fish from or swim to or drink water from. It's going to be a piece of infrastructure that will last. But more importantly, it's the people who have worked with you or have been on the side of government or whatever down there. They want you to come back because they've seen what you put down. And they know it's going to break. Someday it's going to break, and someday it's going to expand, and someday I might need another one. Who best to do it than the one they like best? If they don't like you, they're not going to come to you. And no other friend in Washington is going to get it for you because it still has to be officialized on the ground where the project is going to be delivered. So you cannot afford to do nonsense and then pretend, oh, well, I'm not going back to that island. You don't have to go back to that island. That island will come to you through other islands. So it's very important to do that, to be very sincere about your work and be very honorable in your commitments to your clients. With that, work will come to you. And having said that, I don't know what else I can say, other than basically just to encourage you that business is there to be had, but you have to want it. You have to have a passion for what it is you do. And once you put that passion forward, people will see your commitment to yourself. And once they see that, they will give you a chance. They will give you a chance. And so that's how I see business. That's how I interpret it. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity here for Export TT to have me come, and I don't know whether recommend or whatever. But thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.